Rotational power is at the forefront of swing speed, club head speed, ball speed, how fast that tennis ball comes off that racket, and how hard you can throw a football, baseball, all those things. Rotational power is universal for a lot of different sports. Rotation happens with the hip leading, right? The torso follows, then our arm, then the implement, whether it's a football, a golf club, something like that. So rotation doesn't really change, so we can test power in the same way each time and know that we can meet set standards. So today what we're gonna do, we're gonna go over our rotational power test. We're gonna look at each test individually, and we're gonna go ahead and look at how we report and show the actual answers that we're looking for and what they all mean. So right now, let's get into the first test, which is gonna be our sit up and throw. Our first rotational power test is the sit up and throw. So what we're gonna have Ty do is he's gonna sit down onto the ground here, and he's gonna put his feet in line with our start of where we're measuring from. We're gonna measure all these in feet. So what Ty's gonna do is he's gonna lay back, and we're really looking for him to put that low back into the ground, and his arms are actually gonna come up over his head. So this is a fully extended position here, and what we're looking to do is make sure he keeps this down, and what he's gonna do is sit up and throw all at once. So he's gonna hold tight for just a second, but what he's gonna do, keeping his lower body down, he's gonna come up and throw, and we're gonna see how far he can throw it. The set standard for men on this is about 22 feet. We wanna make sure they can make it. So Ty's gonna go ahead and just throw one. He'll sit up and go. There we go. So Ty got all the way to about 23 feet there, so he already crushed our goal, which is awesome. What that tells me is that he has the ability to actually put his lower body into the ground and make it an anchor point for him to come around. So right now off the bat, he can flex and extend with some power, but rotation we know is not all flexion extension. The next one we're gonna work to is his upper body power. So we're gonna take that catapult out and we're gonna actually put it in a different variation. So let's look onto that one. Our second test is med ball chest pass. So this looks at just upper body power. We're not having to sequence things together. We're not really relying on the core as much. We're just looking at how much push does he have. So Ty's already set on the box here. We're gonna make sure that his knees at about a 90-degree angle, feet are about shoulder width apart. From here, he's gonna start with the ball in front of him. So it's just gonna be extended. And then he's gonna be able to rock back. So from here, he rocks back and then he will explode through. What we're looking at is that chest pass, right? So how much force does he push into the ground, or into the ball, excuse me. Now, the reason we look at this is because in any, you can relax for a second, Ty, for any type of throw, right, whether it's a baseball throw or a golf swing, there is a a horizontal pushing component to it. So we're gonna see, does he meet the mark here? That mark for men, again, is 22 feet. So we know he's 23 feet. We sit up and throw. Let's see what he gets for his chest pass. Good. So his chest pass is sitting right around 22 feet. So he's right at our mark. So in terms of upper body horizontal power, he's meeting the mark. Now for someone his size, we probably want to see it a little bit more improvement there, but he's at least meeting the standard. Our last two tests are the baseline throws. So this is really more true rotation. So we've looked at, can you connect lower and upper body with that sit up and throw? How's the upper body power horizontally? Now we're gonna kind of combine it into a more familiar movement for our golfers, our tennis players, our hockey players, and our football players. So what we're looking to do is we're gonna have this ball back here, kind of like a shot put. And what they're gonna do is they're gonna sit into this left hip, they're gonna rotate and load, and then they're gonna push off this left foot and fire the ball out that way. So what we're looking for men, 33 feet, for females, 30 feet. And with our other tests, our sit up and throw, it's men 22 feet, females 20, and then our chest pass the same, 22 and 20. So I'm gonna tag Ty in here. He's gonna go on his right side. So he'll set up. He's gonna put that left foot right on that start line, and all he's gonna do is load up and try to throw that ball. He's allowed to turn, he just can't step through. We're gonna see how far he can take it. Awesome. So with that, Ty stayed legal, which means he didn't step through, and he got to 33 feet. So 33 feet, he's right on that side, right on the point we want him to be at. Again, for someone his size, we might want to go a little bit farther and develop that pattern, but he at least has the necessary amount of power to compete in the sport. With the baseline throw, we're also gonna go ahead and test the other side. So we were testing the right side for Ty. That's his dominant side. His dominant side was 33 feet. Then we test his left side. Now, a lot of people may say, well, I'm not even gonna be anywhere close on my left side. You should be able to be within about 10%. So Ty actually threw it about 30 feet on his left side. So he's about meeting that mark. So with that, you're always gonna test dominant side first, then non-dominant. And you're trying to see how they play together, because a lot of chronic injuries for our single side rotation athletes, so my golfer who just rotates this way all the time, right? That person's gonna be much more susceptible to single side chronic issues if they're not also turning to the other side. So we wanna see if there's a huge difference, that's a red flag. We need to match up the sides. So now that we have all of our information for rotational power, what does it all mean? So we're gonna go give you a deep dive on our report and show you exactly what it means and how these things play together. Now let's take a look at Ty's rotational power numbers on our rotational power report. So when we're looking at Ty, we're gonna start with that sit up and throw. So we know that his sit up and throw was 23 feet, which we see by this yellow line. That yellow line's sitting at 23 feet, but we don't know how good is that? What is it compared to the norm? So if you look down, his sit up and throw percentage is at 104%. So we look at the norm. If he gets 22 feet, that would be 100% of the norm. He's at 23, which is 104, almost 105%. So with that, he's above the average or above the norm for that category. Let's say he only had 20 feet for a male, he'd be at like 90%. Now, that changes with females. Females, their norm is 20, and they're gonna be using a 4-pound ball. Ty was using an 8-pound ball. So that's how those two will change. But the females, if they are at 18 of 20, that's gonna look like 90%. So basically we have this set standard and we can see where are they good, where are they not so good. So when we look at Ty from the macro view, we see sit up and throw, 104%, he's good. Seated chest pass in the left, bottom left is 100%, he's pretty good there. Baseline throw for the right, 100%, right on that mark. Baseline throw for the left, 90%. We expect a 10% drop off. So right now he's good. This is not showing me any glaring missing things, right? He's actually got the prereqs and he can do rotation, he can do it for power, but that doesn't mean he can't get better. Again, for someone his size, we might want to see these numbers a little bit higher. Ty's goals may also indicate we want to see these numbers higher. So let's go on to the next one, seated chest pass. He's at 100% of that goal. He's at 22 feet. Now, if he was at 23, 24, we're gonna see over 100% of the goal. Again, now we're looking at, is there any big glaring deficiency between sit up and throw and seated chest? Right now, he's at the mark for both of them and they're both pretty close. So nothing to kind of look deeper into there. We just gotta get him stronger and faster. If these two, seated chest pass and sit up and throw, are wildly different, maybe 120% and 80%, we know there's some missing link there. So if sit up and throw is really low, it's probably gonna be core stability. Then you look back at their FMS, see if their trunk stability is off. If that is, then we know we need to kind of actually lock this up, because the seated chest pass is showing me, hey, I have upper body power, I'm at 120%. Whereas the sit up and throw is showing me I can't connect it even if I have it, right? So those are the glaring kind of mistakes or the challenges we're looking for. When we go into his baseline throw, we see on the right, he's at 100%, on the left, he's at 90%. We just wanna make sure it's not more than a 10% drop off there. So he's pretty good. We just wanna make sure they both come up together. And again, remember what I said, if you are a single side athlete, baseball player who throws righty, bats righty, golfer who hits righty, and only that, you wanna make sure you're also learning how to rotate to the other side. It's gonna help protect your body. So let's say he had 120% on his dominant side, 80% on that non-dominant side. We need to look at his hip mobility, his core stability, his rotary stability going to the other side, his non-dominant side. So basically, we just need to know what the numbers are trying to tell us. Ty seems pretty well-rounded. That means we can just go ahead and get him stronger, get him faster. For someone who's not as well-rounded, pick out your weak link, see if it's a movement problem, a strength problem, a speed problem, and then identify what is the next course of action. So basically all we're looking for is what do the numbers tell us, and as we retest along the way. So every 6 weeks we get Ty to do the same tests. As we do that, we're getting updated numbers to see, are we on our way to our goal, or are we getting farther away and maybe we need to change course. So rotational power is huge for all of my athletes, but just everyday life as well. You should be able to move with speed, power, and control. So these are easy tests to just perform on your own or perform with your client to make sure they're hitting the mark. And now you have set standards for males and females, and you can see where your clients are at right now.